Now I want to talk about two experiences that I've had that actually were instances where I saw the future. The thing that's really cool about these particular dreams is the fact that one of them was a spirit that I was actually working with, so I knew who they were. See, the second dream was a familiar that was going to be coming to me in the future. In the future. The first one with Bune, I was working with Bune, and I ended up falling asleep. We had just applied for an apartment. This process for us to get approved took a few days, almost about a week. 2 days before I actually got to do the viewing of this apartment, I had this dream with Bune. It was such a weird dream because I wasn't really paying attention to the setting of the dream. I was paying more attention to the fact that Bune was in front of me as the golden woman aspect, completely nude and extremely fucking intimidating to me because that's not something that I'm really used to, okay? I was so caught off guard by that I called my girlfriend into my dream just to show her that I was not doing anything foolish or cheating on her because I wanted to make sure that she felt secure. Remember that key part. She came forward and I told her what was going on and that I didn't actually know who the fuck this was. I ended up looking back at Bune again before I realized that this was Bune. Okay, this is before I realized that this actually was Bune. Bune laughed. There was like a small chuckle that Bune let out. And then I got this flash, almost as if I had some sort of epiphany within this dream, where I realized that I had called my girlfriend into my dream, meaning I took control of this dream and started adding pieces to it. This realization made me look around at every detail within this room. And I looked out into one specific area, which was a window, okay? It was a window to our future bedroom, actually. I looked out of the window and I saw a green generator. My brother was standing on that. I thought it was weird that he was in my dream, but it made me think. My brother is usually a very good sign within my dreams, so that's what I took this as, that we were actually going to get approved for this apartment and that it was ours. I also, started to think, you know what, this actually is our apartment. And so I woke up, I journaled it, I wrote it down and everything. And yeah, 2 days after the dream, we actually were able to do a viewing of the apartment. It was exactly how I had seen it in the dream, which was, it was really cool. It was exactly how I had seen it. It's just that Bune wasn't there, when we were viewing the apartment. We ended up getting approved for it. A lot of things transpired before we were actually approved for the apartment, though, so it made it a little hard to be confident, to be sure that we were going to get it. And then, boom, in the midst of all of the havoc and fucking chaos, we got approved for it. It was a lot, but we were so fucking excited. And, we had an amazing fucking time there. I had the best fucking time living in Vegas. Like, we had a lot of fun. We did a lot of things every fucking day. And I actually got to, live life for once, which was beautiful. Fucking beautiful. The other time that I had a very, crazy fucking dream was before we moved into this apartment. It seems every time there's some sort of major shift gonna happen, or I'm supposed to see something, like it might be because I'm setting the intent of actually reaching out to see, or grasp onto that specific point in time to bring that fate into my life and weave it into myself or my reality. It may be that because I had a dream of receiving this apartment that we live in currently. The interesting thing about this dream was I had never met this particular spirit that was in my dream, and I also had not seen this apartment, and we weren't going to be able to actually get a real view of this apartment. So they didn't give us a tour of this like they gave us in Vegas. I only got to see it in my dream. This dream was weird because there was a familiar that I was going to be receiving in the future. This played out so oddly, it was very fascinating to me at the same time, while simultaneously creeping me the fuck out. So, in this dream, I woke up and there was a short, pale child that had sharp teeth and two huge fucking butcher knives in his hands, and he looked fucking insane. He looked insane. He had really wild frizzy hair and blood on his face, blood on his clothes. He had like gray, torn, worn clothing, and he was just jumping around, bouncing, and just looked fucking super energized. He looked at me because he was jumping on my bed, and when I caught eye contact with him, he just jumped off the bed and just took off running. See, this is another one of those times in which I was completely distracted by what was going on with the being, right? Being did the same shit to me. So I'm chasing him, and I go into a living room. I run down this hallway that actually is the hallway of the apartment that I live in right now. Again, in this dream, every single detail that I saw was exactly what this specific place looked like, just like in the other apartment. I chased him through the hallway into the living room, and around this time it was Christmas because there was a Christmas tree in the living room, and I couldn't find him anywhere. But something told me to look on the ground. I looked on the ground, and there was a compass on the floor. I don't own a compass. I don't really use compasses. So as I'm holding this compass, I realized that I got completely distracted by him. So distracted that I didn't actually look around in my environment. I took a second to look around while I'm holding this thing in my hand, and something just didn't feel right. So I grabbed the compass and I just started shaking it, and he shifted back into the original version of himself. Then my cats ran out because I guess they heard the commotion, and he shapeshifted into one of my cats. They started running all over this fucking house, like all over the place. It was insane. It was driving me fucking crazy. And he looked exactly like my cats, like both of my cats combined into one. It was fucking crazy. And so I called my brother again. I wanted to tell somebody. I called my brother into this dream to show him like what the hell was going on. And he was like, well, yeah, it's the future. This is one of your more dominant abilities pertaining to your clairvoyance. And I was like, what? So I asked my brother to repeat what he said in the dream, and he didn't even remember what the fuck he had told me. Like, he took that full moment to explain that to me in its entirety, and then completely just forgot it. So then I didn't really think nothing about this guy and how he shapeshifted into the cat and how he was a compass or anything like that. I did the same thing that I usually do. I woke up from this dream, I wrote it down, realized that we weren't going to be able to actually view this apartment, and what do you know? Probably, about a week or so later, we ended up moving here. this exact apartment was the exact apartment that I saw within the dream while I was chasing this guy around. Funny enough, this particular spirit that I saw within my dream was a familiar that I actually have now. He's a familiar that I ended up calling to that was the exact one that I saw in my dream. There's no fucking coincidence, you know? Like, there's literally no coincidence. The fact that I'm here, how everything is laid out, how close the graveyard is to me, the type of spirit that he is, his nature, and specifically the path that I am on right now. Absolutely no coincidence. Fucking amazing. Because when I called him and I saw that it was him, I was dumbfounded. I was fucking dumbfounded because both of those things came true. But I was more shocked at the fact that he was the one that I called to when I went forward with connecting to the familiar that I felt I had the strongest pull to. My dreams are always like this. They always have some sort of huge revelation that comes forward, in the coming weeks or coming days. It's very common for spirits to communicate like this, and it's very common for us to actually never really fully check out the dream. So I recommend that if you're working with spirits, especially if they are the type that can communicate with you in your dreams, that you ask for them to communicate with you in this way, because it will open your eyes to so many possibilities, but it will also help you to achieve lucidity faster, all the while retaining a very good memory of the vivid dreams that you will have. I hope that you guys like this video. I really appreciate you guys for being patient with me. I'm definitely going to be getting right back on track and cranking out as much fucking content as I can. I hope that you guys enjoy this, because these two particular experiences were fucking crazy. But I will never give you guys anything that is fake, that is false, that isn't authentic. And that's the reason why I wanted to make this video, because I hadn't really talked about it in full detail, and talking about it now just has me so mind blown at the fact that there's literally no coincidence. I'll see you guys in the next video.